All right. Welcome back to Global Gaming Women's Fair Game Podcast. Can you believe it? It is season 3.
Yay!
Yeah, we're here.
So
Season 3.
excited.
We're doing it. We are here at the Light and Wonder Studios as always. It is a beautiful day. I am here with my faves, Anika Howard. Even though she can't be here with us in person, she is here with us. And Bronwen Gregg. Hi, ladies.
Yay.
How are we today?
Oh, so good. We miss you in person, Anika, but cannot wait for you to be back.
I wish I could be there. I'm looking forward to our next session when I get to be there in person and see all
I know.
of you guys.
I feel the void. Right
Yes,
here.
we need you.
I need you back right next to us.
Yes.
I'm really proud of our bright colors. I did this for you today. How do you feel about it?
Oh my gosh, thank you. We didn't even have to communicate about it. You just knew.
No.
I know.
No, I did it. I did this for Bronwen.
Oh, yay. And Anika's got some bright pants.
Yeah.
I have bright red pants on, so I am representing for GGW Fair Game today.
Yes.
Perfect. I love it. I cannot believe how fast time is moving.
Yeah.
Like we're in season 3. This is impressive. We built something pretty incredible. We're going to continue to build on it. This is exciting.
Yes.
Talk to me a little bit about why you're excited for season 3.
I'm so excited. I feel like we have had so many conversations that they've resonated so well with listeners and been so inspiring. And I'm really excited about our calendar this season because we're going to be kind of double clicking into some of the topics that we might have already gone over at a high level, and also bringing in people that are maybe more tangential to the industry, but still provide a tremendous amount of inspiration in their kind of adjacent, industry roles. So I think it's going to be really interesting in terms of the perspectives that we're bringing.
You went full corporate buzzword on us and said double click. We're going to double click. So yeah, you are really excited. Anika, what about you? What are you excited about?
I mean, I just think about the connections. I remember when we really started the podcast and we said that stories are permission slips.
Yeah.
And I really feel that genuinely when I go back and listen to some of the previous podcasts or talk to people that have listened to the podcast. I really like the idea of creating this dialogue and giving people permission to grow and expand in their professional and personal lives, hopefully because of something they heard here. And so I also like the growth that we've had as co-hosts and friends. And I look to see that continue to blossom and grow too. So I'm just very excited to be here again for another season.
Oh,
so I'll say ditto to everybody and everything that you all just said. But the connections piece I think is super important. And I know we're going to talk about it in a couple of upcoming episodes. And I had an encounter over the summer in Target with my daughter. We went up to pay and the lovely lady at the register was like, "Hey, wait, I know you." And I was like, "Oh. Okay,
really?
But probably because I'm at Target all the time. Like, that's how you know me." And she said, no, you're on a podcast. And so, she's an intern. I can't remember what company she works for, but shout out if you're listening again today. But she said she listens to our podcast and the connections there is insane. So I saw her in Target.
Gosh.
So, Anika, what you just said kind of resonated with me in a big way because we are making impacts across the industry and even at Target.
Oh, I love that. And I love the connections, the nuggets that we've gotten from people who have been guests. I have had some guests reach out and be like, "Hey, after sharing my story, this happened. Somebody approached me and they're like, I went, or I am going through the same thing. And you gave me, to your point, Anika, that permission or that inspiration to overcome that adversity or, go down that career path, whatever it was." And so, yeah, it's our recognition, but also being able to uplift our guests and those stories. It's just, it's really beautiful.
Yeah. We have some pretty exciting things planned for the season, but one of the biggest things is that GGW is turning 10.
Yeah.
So it's an anniversary celebration. So not only are we celebrating season 3, but we are celebrating the history of GGW and where we started and where we've become today, what we've become today. And so it's pretty cool. You'll get a little nods throughout the season about our anniversary and some of the things that we're celebrating. So I'm pretty excited about all of it. Oh, one of my favorite upcoming episodes. We tried it so you don't have to.
Yes.
Oh yes.
It's my favorite thing ever.
Yes, that was so good last year. I still use everything.
Me too.
Good excuse to get it all too.
Okay, don't.
I'll
waste
save it.
Save it for the thing. Okay, so last season we sat down near the end of the season and talked about goal setting, right? And the three of us discussed some of the things that we wanted to do personally. And we promised a check-in. So not only are we here today to celebrate season 3 and talk about all the exciting things that we have, but we're going to do a little check-in. I know We're gonna hold each other accountable. We
Accountability.
said we were gonna do this, so let's start about it. Let's talk about it. Go with a recap. Tell me about your goals from last year if you remember them.
Okay. So I had a few, like a little handful. So one of my big goals was to be off my phone more, and I have continued to do that. I still have my days where I just put my phone away, and it's so refreshing. It's so nice. I don't know if I've increased it necessarily, but every now and then to have that no phone day is really, really nice. I also said I wanted to work out when I was traveling to be more consistent, but I actually moved into a new role this year at Insight Global. So I'm not going to be traveling as much. I get to be more focused on Las Vegas and, being back in the boat with customers here. So I'm really sad about my points. I'm worried I'm not going to be able to keep my Delta Platinum status. Putting everything on that Amex now. But anyway, I'm not traveling as much. So that one, I'm able to be consistent here. And then also another big thing that I was focusing on was protecting my energy. Like I was really inspired by Taylor Swift's, quote in the podcast that she did, New Heights. And she was talking about how your energy, you have to treat it as a luxury item. Like it is expensive. Not everybody can afford it. And I have been so intentional about like keeping that kind of North Star as I continue to just navigate like my professional and also my social life. And, I was serving on 5 boards a year ago. And as much as I love all of those organizations, it's just too much, that overcommitment. Like I have to protect my energy, protect my peace so I can be fully engaged and present and impactful with, the spaces that I choose to lean into. So, that's just one example, but I've been, really trying to keep that
Do you think it's working?
Yes, I feel much less overcommitted, and I feel like I'm able to be much more present. I still have a horrible response time because I put my phone away, but that's also really important for protecting your peace.
You completed a goal, so that's
Yeah,
okay.
exactly.
We can overlook that.
And I know calendar management was a big thing for, all of us.
I think all 3 of us said the same thing as a goal for
Yes.
calendar management.
And so moving into the new role, like I have been obsessively intentional there. Like I am like quality over quantity. If I don't need to be in this meeting, I don't need to be in this meeting. It's been great.
Good. All right, Anika, how about you?
So very similar. We talked a lot about setting boundaries, and so really practicing the art of the sacred no and being more intentional about my time. So I think the first thing that was a big opportunity for me that I could talk about is that I went on vacation. So I went to New Zealand. It was actually turned into a solo trip, but for once I actually came back from that trip refreshed because I did protect that time, and I was very, very kind of focused on making sure that I lived in the moment and had that experience. And so one of the things that I wanted to do is to make sure, from a practice perspective, I did the same thing, kind of protecting my peace and making sure that at least tried to create more of a balance. And so I've been doing that. And I think the next thing was really focusing on expanding, really focusing on what are the things that bring me joy outside of work. And so that has really been leaning into a lot of my creative pursuits. So writing, traveling, music. And so I have been able to do that. And I think the final one for me, if I remember it correctly, was health. And I have been very more focused on kind of diet, exercise, overall health versus weight loss. And as a result of that, I am down considerably from when we kind of left the season before. And I feel happy and healthy and just more at peace and less stressed. And so I think that was one of the things that I want to get to. And who knows how long that's going to last, because, this is the industry and the work that we do. But like I take those moments and recognize them and hold on to them when I get them.
Yeah. Are you sleeping?
Yeah.
Did you get to sleep in New Zealand?
I did get to sleep in New Zealand, but I'm not sleeping now. I still have to figure out the insomnia trick. So I'm open to recommendations.
Anika, you started talking about your creative pursuits, and some of the things that I remember very vividly from last season is that we learned some special hidden talents.
Yes.
So I'd like an update on those, please.
So the writing pieces of it too. I didn't get a chance. I was going to do our new intro. So maybe that will still happen over the time. So my saxophone skills, I might take them out of retirement.
Okay.
Yes.
That's a requirement. That's the one thing I think I'm gonna hold you to, like, for sure.
Yes, I have an
All right, good. So you and my brothers will hold me to that. So It will happen. I promise.
Yeah.
So I'm in a little bit of the same boat. Like I think that I was very specific with my goals, and I remember like outlining them like to a T, like date night once a week. Like, and I got very like drilled in. And I think I'm with Anika, like practicing the look at overall health rather than specifics, right? Like I think I said like, oh, I'm gonna work out once a week. Stop it. Like that is not, it's not realistic. And I think it's a little insane to try to define those specifics, because then I feel disappointed when I don't meet those, right? So I'm with Anika. I'm shifting how I set my goals, and I'm saying, you know, some overall things. I'm going to focus on overall health rather than, you know, specific drills and working out once a week, lose a certain amount of weight, right? Like, and I'm with Anika. I'm focusing on overall health, and I feel pretty healthy. I've lost some weight. I'm excited. You know, I think that it, you know, when you get very specific, you get narrowed in and too focused. And so you kind of lose sight of the overall goal. And I think long-term practice is what we're really here for.
Yes.
You know, we don't want short-term fixes, and we don't want these things to be temporary. So,
super insightful.
I feel like it's okay to have experimented there and kind of realize that maybe that's not for me. It might be for some people.
Yeah.
Like you may have to actually write things out and say like, I am going to lose 30 pounds by this date. That's okay. And that if that works for you, that works for you. But for me, I'm finding that it just doesn't work. I need that overall goal so that I can practice this long-term rather than short-term.
Yeah. And that also opens you up because there are just so many ways to achieve those goals. And that might change with seasons of life and week to week. Like when you're at a trade show, yeah, working out 5 days a week is not realistic.
No.
But like that doesn't mean that you failed that week. Maybe you made healthy eating choices, you know, like there's different ways to go. That's awesome. That's so insightful, Lauren.
There's always not,
Yeah, that's really good.
No,
Three spice.
Yeah.
And I agree because I always feel like a lot of times it's not just about kind of the exercise. It's about diet. It's about stress and the things that stress can trigger. It's about making sure that unfortunately you get enough sleep, you get enough water.
Sleep,
all these things kind of play a role.
Hydration. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
I'm so bad at this. Like, how do we drink more water? I don't understand.
I got one of those big water bottles that like tells you throughout the day.
No, I get frustrated. I don't want to carry that around. I feel like that in itself is a workout.
It is really annoying.
I don't want to carry this thing
and
around.
that's the one thing that you can do. That's the one thing that you can do that has such a positive, you know, impact on everything. But it's hard.
Yeah, electrolytes too. I got electrolytes now with like liver support. It's supposed to be like, you know, increasing your hydration than just regular water. But yeah, I think it's really important too, like what you were talking about, because from a mindset perspective, it makes you feel like you're not like failing at your goals. Like it makes you feel like you're not like, oh, I can't do this. Like, oh my God, I suck. Like, oh, I didn't hit this. I failed. It's like, no, like it can show up in different forms. You're not a failure. So
exactly.
that's
And another one we all touched on, calendar management. I can't remember how you phrased it, Anika. I loved it, but the power of no. You know, something that we are practicing at work, and then I'm kind of carrying over is if there's no agenda, I'm not coming.
I like that.
I think it's really powerful. I know it's really hard for me to like literally look at someone and be like, you didn't come up with the agenda, I'm not coming. That piece is hard, but I think it's really important because it starts to train other people about respect too. And I respect other people's time, and I hope that they can respect mine in return. So if there's no agenda, I'm not coming.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah,
I really love
Oh my goodness. I've kind of implemented, Lauren, the exact same thing. And it is a hard thing. It's a hard thing for your team to get accustomed to, like when you kind of say it up, there's no agenda. But and that's part of the art of the sacred no, and kind of saying that, you know, if your time, everyone's time is important and valuable. And if this is something that is essential to move forward, then take the time to, you know, do the diligence and make sure that it's going to be a productive meeting. And you can't do that if you don't have an agenda. So
yeah, I love that. And my role, because I'm now, and I'm so excited to be back like deep in the industry. I'm now account director over hospitality entertainment at Insight Global. So technology, talent, professional
Congratulations.
services. So excited. And so my role for the last 3 years was, you know, event marketing and revenue operations in corporate. So it was like just meetings, like so many different internal stakeholders, so many different cross-functional teams. And now being back on the customer side, And, I don't know if this is necessarily true for everybody in the nature of their work, but I've been really focused on just picking up the phone and calling people, right? Or just like stopping by, their, headquarters, like on site. Like it doesn't need to be this formal, overly scheduled thing when you have a partnership where you're solutioning, right? Like different business, services. And so that's been really helpful for calendar management and also just for, partnership and relationship building. And like, I don't need to put this like fancy invite on your calendar. I'm just going to pick up the phone and be like, hey, like, what do you think about this?
Oh my gosh. One of my favorite things about I'm not going to do this like fancy invite on your calendar. I have just been like going and talking to people.
Yeah.
Like
It's easy.
like bringing it back to connection. Like I feel like it's so much more powerful. Like, and you are finding solutions faster to some of the problems. You're not waiting for a meeting on the calendar. Oh, calendar management. I think it's like an overall thing we're going to continue to build on, but I want to make sure that we stay upfront. This has always been a big goal for me. So I will say I did a little digging, me, I do a little research. How to stick to long-term goals, right? This is an important piece on goal setting. And since we're making the shift to not, so specific goals and making sure that we're making them broad so that we can achieve these things long-term, I found a couple of tips and tricks from a Psychology Today article that I really liked. Ooh. So I wanted to bring them to you. There's 3. Number 1, clarify possible challenges up front. Literally play the what if game and create what if statements to help identify future roadblocks.
I like that. It also, though, I'm such an optimist. I'm so obsessed with like positive mindset. It almost scares me. I'm like, I don't want to think about the bad stuff. But
but if you think about the bad, I'm not saying like dwell on the bad stuff. I'm saying think about the bad, think about what could happen, and what can you do to help prevent that so it doesn't happen.
Oh my God, that's where I love that.
Yeah, I'm spinning it.
I love that.
Totally PR in that right there. Right. So number 2, think about how to overcome distractions. So you put away your phone. That's a great way to overcome a distraction. It could be anything from keeping a few snacks nearby, like healthy snacks you pre-pack for the day so you don't have to eat something unhealthy. Use headphones to drown out background noise. I work in a very open environment, so headphones are like so important to me every day because I need to drown out that background noise. Apparently, this might work for you. There are even apps that block things from your phone. So emails, things.
Yes,
so you can literally like shut it down. I don't know how willing I am to go there yet.
Yeah, I feel that.
That's a lot. You put your phone away. I might try that. I don't know. Anika, how do you feel about that?
So I mean, I have do not disturb modes on, and then I have a handful of people that can that can interrupt me during those time periods. And that has helped too, because I know that a lot of times if it's too late, so I have hours that are, after a certain time, I'm like, okay, this is my do not disturb time. And so it automatically filters that through for me. And that has been helpful too, because it does give me a little bit of wind down at the end of the day. Sometimes it doesn't help me kind of not get to sleep, but it does help me switch off and focus on other things. So
I love do not disturb.
It can't get rid of my phone altogether, but like that do not disturb and kind of having that kind of quiet time helps.
Yeah, I'm literally always on do not disturb, always. And I just have a select group of, I think it's like 100-ish people that can get through. But for like 2 years, I've been on do not disturb.
My select is very much smaller than that, but you guys are on it.
We better be in that. Okay, so number 3, last one. Know your challenges. Be honest with yourself about what has stopped you in the past. Be willing to work on those. Be really honest and upfront about it so that you can really be true to yourself and those limitations and say, these are the things I know in the past that have hindered me, and here's how I'm going to work on them.
Oh, I love that one. That accountability.
Right?
Self-awareness. And that's so important. And it's like you learn through mistakes and failures. Like that is a part of your journey. That's not a bad thing. But if you don't learn from it, you're going to keep repeating it. So taking that time to reflect is, absolutely key to anything you want to do.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so given all that, right, the research we looked at, some of the goals and things, I think we're changing this journey. I think it's not so specific, but it's like bigger picture, long term. How do we help each other, and how do we help our listeners really achieve their goals? What do you guys think?
Yeah.
So I think this is a cool season 3 journey. I think we're going to check in a couple times.
Okay. Right. Are we changing goals, or are you guys sticking to your same ones?
I'm going to stick to my same ones. Yeah. Are you going to change?
I guess to make it, higher level.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to make them higher level, just more presence, saying sacred no more, Anika.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The calendar management, the overall health,
Yes,
right? The being
yeah.
present.
I like it.
I think we've all talked about that, being present when it's family time and making sure that we're really there and enjoying in the moment. So
Cool.
yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, it's fair game time. So we're gonna rapid fire. What do you think?
Yay.
All right. So I did a
But
little.
before we rapid fire, I have a question. I know we had talked about earlier about like the anniversary and the 10 years. So I'm just curious, with all of the anniversary celebrations that are going to be taking place, like what do you think? What does GGW mean to you?
Oh man.
Yes. Oh,
I mean, I
love
feel
that,
like I know that's kind of like we're getting ready to go on
Anika.
our rapid fire, but I think that's something that, it's a good place to reflect right before we as we enter into this third season.
Yeah, I love that.
Great point.
Yeah, it changed my career trajectory, I think.
Yeah.
So, and not just my career trajectory, but who I am as a person. I truly believe that. I think that it, one day I literally remember saying, I think I just want to go connect with people. And I found the organization. I said, I'm going to give it a shot. Who knows what this is going to lead to? And that was like a while ago. And here I am today, and look at what it's done for me. And I think that all the doors that it's opened, but all the doors that I've been able to open for other people, that's I think what's important. So while it's done a lot for me and changed a lot for me, I'm able to help change other people, and I love that. I think it's pretty powerful. How about you?
Oh my gosh. I mean, Global Gaming Women has literally changed my life. Like, I know we've talked on the podcast before, like GGW was really the reason that I ended up in the gaming industry, after the first event I ever went to and Sue Schneider affirming my potential. And, the professional development and mentorship that I received from just organic relationships, but also the education pyramid, right? Like the Leadership Development Conference, the networking that has happened, the people I've met, like you amazing women, and also just true friends, right? Beyond mentors and, professional networking acquaintances, true friends. So it's the professional development, the mentorship, the literal like personal friends, the affirmation of potential coming into this industry. I mean, the recognition, overall, like it's transformed everything. Like I really owe where I am today to Global Gaming Women. So it means a tremendous amount to me.
I love that. All right, Anika, bring it home, girl.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think same. I've been a part of GGW for a very long time, and I think about it. And I've transitioned from member to board member to advisory board member and now podcast host. And it's really meant different things for me as I've navigated through like my personal and professional career or in life. And so, but I think overall it keeps on coming back to this idea of belonging. And I think that's the central thing that carries through everything. We've discussed how gaming, and for me, gaming and tech can feel very isolating at times. And it's really comforting to know that you have a community that gets you. And that's very powerful. And I think that's what GGW is.
Yeah.
And now I think for me, it's about legacy, because I love that I get to be part of this podcast, but also just part of building something that I wish existed in my earlier career for kind of the younger, the kind of baby Anika when she was growing up. And I think that's very meaningful work. And I appreciate that there's an organization that is there for women at all stages in their career to welcome them in and to help change their lives. So like I just am very excited. What?
Why didn't we end on that?
I know, it's gonna make me cry. But you're so right. And like the women who I feel so freaking lucky to stand on the shoulders that have, up at the top, put that hand down to, lift me up. Sue Schneider, Laura Pacini, Jan Jones Blackhurst, Brandy Ellis. I mean, the list goes on. Like without them and their guidance and, going baction to that affirmation of potential and just their genuine interest, right, in that career development and in that personal development. I mean, it's wild. Like, I know we're going to have people on the podcast, later on in the season who, you meet once at a networking event and, that follow-up can be that pivotal, piece. It's not like I've spent hours and hours with these women, but they've changed my life. And so the way that you said that about, having that community and being a part of this community that you wish didn't exist, gosh, wish existed when you were, younger in your career. I just feel so fortunate for everybody who started this. Like, thank you.
Yeah,
Like,
same. Thank
it's
you.
so
I think
crazy.
it's our turn now to turn around and reach down and pull people
Yes.
up, right?
It is.
Yes.
It's
It's
like
our turn.
this is what we get a chance to do, and it's a wonderful thing. I'm just listening and remembering what you just said earlier in the podcast, Lauren, about kind of the intern you met at Target. Like,
Mhm.
just that you touched her, you made a difference, and so to be able to have that impact, I think, is a very important and powerful thing, and I appreciate that. Through this and through the work that we all get a chance to do at GGW, we get a chance to do that.
Oh, I'm gonna cry.
Dang.
Oh.
I don't know how we shift to rapid fire now, and we're
I
going
know.
to.
I'm sorry.
to.
I always kind of make me go
It's
too
okay.
deep. So
You
No,
did.
I
You went
love
deep, and I love it. All
I
right.
love it. We love
Let's just
GGW.
throw a couple of fun ones out real quick, okay?
yes.
All right. Number one, if money/time were no object, what would you do?
Travel the world.
Yeah. Travel and
Yeah.
create.
Travel and create. Saxophone
Yeah.
playing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Play the sax all over the world.
I think like I would like move to an island and just like live on
Oh.
an island.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I don't know, I love island life. I went on vacation earlier this year and like
Which island?
we went to St. Thomas and St. Martin.
Ooh.
Like
Oh, nice.
island life, so easy. Okay. If I gave you a billboard on the freeway, what would you put on it?
Oh, so there's a quote that I know. There's a quote that I've been obsessed with lately. It's Brianna Wiest, I believe is how you pronounce her name, or Weist, from The Pivot Year. Amazing book. You like read an excerpt every day. But the quote is, "You cannot desire what you do not already contain. Desire is a projection outward that is proportionate to potential inward." And I'm obsessed.
Clearly, because you memorized that. That would be a long billboard. But I like it. Okay, Anika?
I probably get sued by Apple, but be fearless, be curious.
Get sued by Apple. So for me, my husband says something to my daughter every day. He looks at her and he says, "You be you."
Oh.
And I would just put that on there. So it's like short, sweet, get to the point.
Yeah.
Like if you're driving by and you read it fast, it's kind of powerful. Okay.
Yeah.
A physical planner or phone?
I wish I wish I were a physical planner because I like being pretty and writing and all that, but phone. Things move too fast to
I agree.
write stuff
Anika,
down.
same.
Phone, yeah.
Yeah. If anybody has a pretty app instead of just like an Outlook calendar, that could be cool.
Maybe we can make one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Side
okay, that's kind of cool. Side project. The GGW Fair Game Podcast Planner. Okay,
That's a good
last one.
idea.
What's your most used emoji?
Smiley face.
The heart emoji. I use the heart emoji all the time. And then there's one that have my little person emoji that just has me doing the little heart sign. But I use that all the time.
Yeah, mine's red heart or the crying laughing face. Yes, clearly I think things are hilarious, but okay.
Yeah, I like the smiley that's like cheesing really hard.
Yeah.
I think some people think it's blushing, and I'm like, that's awkward because I've been sending it to people for years. So I hope it's not blushing. I think it's just smiling really hard. That's my favorite one.
I love that. So I'm super excited for season 3. I think this is going to be our best yet. I know we've had some exciting moments in the last couple of years, but I'm pumped for the season that we have planned for our listeners. I love you, ladies. Thank you so much for this lovely kickoff. Anika, can't wait till you're next to us in person.
Yes.
Me too.
Let's get it started.
Yay, let's go.